Bro,
Uh,
I've sent my design work. Have you seen it?
hey, can you call your father?
Why?
Who will do UI? Your bap will do. Why, bro? I'll explain.
Huh.
So, firstly, what does a UX designer do?
Card sorting, research, and buy the best wireframes.
Okay, so let's get out of the skit. Charan actually doesn't behave like this, but this is one very big misconception, right? That UX designers do, some of these very artificial things. The logic is simple, bro. Okay, probably you also know. Who will do UI then?
UI designers.
Yeah. So, if UI designers do UI, UX designers should not do UI, is how they take the logic as. Very simple logic, right? So, supposedly, if UX designers do not do what UI designers do, the remaining things are card sorting, research, wireframes, and all these things. A big misconception. Of course, I'm not saying that UX designers do not do any of these things. UX designers don't do these things the way you think they do it. That's what I'm trying to correct this. And on top of it, definitely, I've been a UX designer from many years, and I've known very good UX designers from across many companies, very valuable UX designers, and all of them do UI work. Let me explain. Okay, let me make all these misconceptions very clear in this particular video. So, what we'll do is we'll start with beginning of time. No, not time. Probably. Let us say when wheel was invented or something. Right when from that time, UX design existed. What does the word mean? User experience design. That means you are actually designing experiences for users.
Yes.
UX design existed even back then, right? Because people are trying to identify what are the things which people are using and what are the experiences people are having basis the products which people are using, and trying to design those particular products and creating opportunities, business opportunities through those particular products. It existed all the time. What is that we have done right now? In current context of what we call people as UX designers, it is about those people who are doing this experience design in the context of digital products. Why? Because these digital products are the mediums which today's businesses are using to create experiences to people and use them as opportunities to do business. That is the only reason why today's user experience designers are designing for today's mediums, a part of which are these user interfaces. So if you have this broad understanding of what user experience design means, you need to become a person who will design experiences irrespective of a medium, irrespective of whether it is a user interface or whether it is going to be any other product. You should have the ability to go and design experiences for it. That's the way to take it. But that doesn't mean you will discard today's interfaces or today's problems, whatever being solved for, you will discard designing for those interfaces. It doesn't mean that way. So imagine there is a politician. Basically, this politician has an agenda and wants to do some nice benefit to the particular constituency or whatever this person is. Okay. So then what is happening? This person has a nice plan. Let us say one scheme, midday meal scheme for school kids. This person says, okay, fine. Let us say we'll provide a big 3-course meal. You will have this nice sambar and nice starters and like everything like nicely planned and well designed. But ultimately, tell me, when will people actually appreciate this particular politician?
Whenever the students get the meals.
Correct.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. You can't appreciate this particular politician only if this person's plan is only there in those things. That's the biggest complaint we generally have towards politicians in general.
Yeah.
Right?
They have everything in the manifesto.
Everything is there in the manifesto, everything is there in the plan, but it is not being delivered. User experience actually becomes the user's experience when the user experiences it. Oh my God. Though this came out funnily, this is a very, very powerful statement.
Yes.
You need to understand that your users in the end are getting the experience through the interfaces which they are using. Right from the time of the wheel till now, your users have always been getting the experiences through the products in front of them. And in today's world, through the interfaces which are there in front of them. That means you can call yourself a user experience designer only if you do whatever it takes to ultimately make sure that your end users will have the experience which you have imagined. That means you will have to make the illustration of how they're going to have an experience to the detail, including making sure that you do the entire UI. It's very important. It is a misconception if you think that as UX designer, it is someone else's job to actually nail down the experience. And I don't want to talk about why these misconceptions have happened. Of course, there are companies where there are dedicated UI designers in a few places who actually also help the team. There are people who work on strategizing some of the larger concepts. They also do UI, but there are other people who assist them by detailing it out in a very, very good manner, but in very conjunction with these people, right? There are few constructs in that particular manner, but largely the most efficient system which I have seen is that person who is actually coming up with those ideas and solving those problems. That person goes to the T, going into every small detail of how the experience needs to come out. That really, really works, because in those details, in those very, very small and minute details, is where the actual experience really, really lies. Right? Because everyone can have large ideas and large strategies, isn't it?
Yeah.
But in those details is where you need to really, really fight with that ambiguity, and you will really worry about all the micro aspects of the experience of a user to go and create that user experience. That is why it is very, very, very important to actually go and do interface design.
So you'll ask this question, like most people have this question.
Yeah.
So if I just learn some Figma or like some tool, some UI designing tool,
Yeah.
will it be enough for me to survive in the industry, like not learning all the process and all?
Yes, very much related. So first of all, in that question itself, we are trying to keep things apart. You're saying, hey, you know what, should I learn a bunch of tools? Or hey, you know what, I should learn a bunch of processes. First of all, we need to stop thinking like this. Okay, remember this line. It is not UI versus UX. It is UX for UI and UI for UX. Okay, again, looks like a Baba statement, but I'll explain. Okay, so what we need to understand is all these processes which you see should all be understood as best practices which can help you deliver a good experience. If you go back to the politician example, the politician can go and refer back to what multiple other people did. How did they actually understand the needs of the people? How did they go and understand what are the current problems which need to be solved? How much budget does it take? So the practice of doing these things have been kept by some people who have already done it in the past and made as good practices, and they have derived frameworks out of it. But that doesn't mean the politician will simply only do these things and not deliver the midday meals to the kids. You understand, right?
Yes.
So all this was process and what which we are calling are for the end experience which you are actually giving to the users. So therefore, whatever tool skills which you are learning, let us say Figma or whatever, should help you in putting down these ideas in a much better manner, in bringing your ideas as close as possible to how your users would experience it. In other words, prototyping, a similar looking working model. So that is what you're trying to do, because you want to go get as close as possible to how they would experience it in both the places. So it is very important to understand and learn tool skills.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no to that. It is very important. In
Yes.
fact, it is very important to be very efficient with tools, right? Whenever tools release any of the new features, like it is a very general practice for many UX designers to understand how to become very efficient with those tool features and make their workflows very fast. Because their goal is not really about doing a checklist. Oh, did I cover a bunch of processes for this project? Oh, did I make a bunch of screens for this project? Oh, did I use these 3 features? Did I use auto layout for this project? Did I use variables for this project? Did I use variants and components for this project? No. These checklists is not how we do design, because it just doesn't matter how many number of pages your manifesto is. What matters is, did the student actually get the meal? And did they have a great experience?
Yeah.
Right?
Huh.
That is what is very, very important. When you read about these things, when you read about a tool, when you read about these processes, you need to understand how do you utilize these things for your way of creating an experience. Your ideas, your thought process in how you want to create an experience, that should be the hero. And these things are better ways in which you can make yourself more efficient, and ways in which you can do it in a much better manner, because there is a lot of data of how others have done it. That's the way to take it. But ultimately, if there is one takeaway from this particular video which you'll have to take is, yes, you have to do UI. As UX designers, you own the user interface which is delivered to the users. It is very artificial to just say, I will just follow a bunch of process and write stuff and at the max, I'll just do wireframes and I'll let someone else do the UI. Do not have this misconception. It just doesn't work this way in this age. You own the experience which you want to deliver to your users. Whew. Awesome, bro. Okay, so bro, understood? What will you do now?
I'll not call my father. I'll sit and do the UI work.
You can do one more thing, bro.
Yeah.
You can call your father, definitely call your father and ask him to subscribe to this channel.
Yes, I'll do that. You also subscribe to this channel.
Yes, so please hit the like button. Definitely, if you like the video, if it is providing value, please hit the like button. And definitely share this video with whomever you think should get this message, really get this message and get these perspectives. Please do share this particular video. See you again for more of these videos and on the channel. Thank you.